A cloudburst hit near the base camp of the holy cave shrine of Amarnath in South Kashmir Himalayas, and this has resulted in the loss of several lives. Even as rescue operations by the ITBP, the Jammu and Kashmir Police and Indian Army are and they are on in full swing, multiple casualties are feared in the mishap. The cloudburst took place in the area around the low reaches of Amarnath Cave at around 5:30 p.m. today. According to the disaster management team, 3 langars have been washed away due to heavy flow of water near the holy cave, and people are also reportedly missing. Remember, a cloudburst is an extreme amount of rain in a short period of time, and sometimes it is accompanied by hail and thunder, which is capable of creating flood-like situations. This is something that has happened in Amarnath, very close to that shrine, that cave, and it is now believed that the water in Amarnath really came from above the cave after the heavy rains in the upper reaches. However, according to the officials, the rain has now slowed down. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to the Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj, and he has also taken stock of the situation. We also have our eyes on the ground. Our reporters are trying to reach the very spot and get us all the updates that we are bringing to you from the Amarnath shrine as to the casualty figures that are being reported, among other things. And right now, the relief and rescue operations are currently going on. Let's take a look at what else is happening.
अमरनाथ गुफा के पास जैसी हमें सूचना मिली है, लगभग 5:30 बजे के आसपास काफ़ी तेज़ बारिश हो रही थी काफ़ी देर से, और वहाँ पर पहाड़ के बगल में जो गुफा है उसी के ऊपर से अचानक से तेज़ पानी आने लगा और नाले का बहाव धीरे धीरे तेज़ होने लगा। जो हमारे सिस्टर एजेंसीज हैं, आईटीबीपी है, बाकी सारी एजेंसीज, हमने तुरंत अलर्ट किया। पिछले साल भी वहाँ पर एक ऐसी घटना हुई थी जिसमें काफ़ी क्लाउड बर्स्ट के बाद तबाही जैसी स्थिति पैदा हुई थी। तो इस बार पहले से हम लोग अलर्ट थे। इलाका काफ़ी नैरो है, तो वहाँ नीचे की तरफ कुछ टेंट भी लगे हुए थे, जिसमें कि कुछ हमारे बलों के भी टेंट थे और उसमें कुछ श्रद्धालु भी थे। तो उनको वार्न किया गया, उनको अलर्ट किया गया, और विद इन 10 to 15 मिनट्स काफ़ी लोगों को वहाँ से निकाला गया, जिससे काफ़ी लोगों को हम बचा सके हैं, वहाँ पे निकाल सके हैं।
My colleague Pradeep Datta now joins me on the broadcast. Pradeep, what is the situation over there?
The situation right now is under control. Rescue operation is still continuing. NDRF, SDRF team, along with the ITBP personnel as well as the mountain unit of Jammu and Kashmir Police, they are trying their level best to evacuate as many people as they can, because it was at about 5:30 p.m. today. All of a sudden, there was a cloudburst that triggered flash flood in that area, because of which the Baltal base camp was affected. 25 to 30 tents were completely washed away, and 3 langars were also destroyed because of that flash flood. And 13 bodies have so far been recovered, and the number seems to be rising with every passing minute, and more than 20 to 30 people are still missing. And right now the efforts are on to look for those missing people. Also injured had been evacuated to hospital. Helicopter has been placed into service. Lieutenant Governor Manoj himself is monitoring operation that's going on in that area. And Prime Minister, as you rightly said, also short while back spoke to Lieutenant Governor Manoj to get the updates about the situation there on the ground. Home Minister Amit Shah also called up Manoj, and they're trying to provide all sorts of help to the people there, because the biggest challenge right now is that already the darkness has descended, and because of the darkness also it's getting very difficult to carry out the rescue operation, because though they have got the emergency lights with them, but with the shovel they are trying to look for people those missing. As you must have seen in the visuals, also very unfortunate visuals coming from that place, the tragedy that struck that area, and they're trying to look with the help of the shovels. They're trying to look for the bodies, and also the
Pradeep,
helpline
do we
numbers
have a
also,
confirmation on the numbers, the casualty figure that you're reporting for our viewers? You are saying 13 bodies have been recovered so far. Is there a confirmation on this number, and also any certainty on the kind of missing figures that we are talking about over here? Because several people who are still being looked for, they are missing reportedly, and very rightly you mentioned that obviously after sundown the relief and rescue operation is going to get more and more difficult. But do we have a certainty on this number? 13 is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what actually we had been told by the authorities, that the 13 bodies have so far been recovered, and many are said to be missing. Number can be more than 20, because it's not clear whether these people had been washed away or whether after that flash flood that was triggered by the cloudburst, whether they have gone to the safer place, because after that many people were seen running helter-skelter, and already as DRF team and DRF team that had been placed there, they swung into action. They also started warning people, asking them come out of their tents and move towards the safer places. So it's not only about evacuation of the injured, it's also about providing shelter to the people, because already the darkness is there. So they are trying to provide more and more shelter to more and more people there. Reason being that most of the tents have been completely washed away. Last year also we saw a similar kind of a situation, but because there was no pilgrimage at that point of time, so there was no such problem. Reason being that this time there is a lot of enthusiasm. After 3 years, Amarnath pilgrimage has been there with just within a short span of time. More than 1 lakh people have already paid obeisance at shrine. Let me tell the viewers also, because there are two ways of going towards the Amarnath shrine. One is from the Pahalgam route, another is from the Baltal route. Today at about 5:30 p.m. there was a cloudburst that triggered flash floods, and flash flood, you can see the gushing stream of water all of a sudden started coming. It affected, hit the base camp at Baltal, because of which more than 25 to 35 tents, including 3 langars that were there, were completely washed away. Immediately after that, NDRF team, SDRF team, ITBP personnel, a mountain unit of the Jammu and Kashmir police that has been deployed there for the duty of Amarnath shrine pilgrimage. They immediately swung into action. They tried to evacuate as many people as they can. Had they not swung into action, the prompt action not been taken by them, the casualty figure would have been much more. But now what the administration is trying to do, they are trying to come out with those helpline numbers, because people back home, they are really concerned and worried about well-being of their near and dear ones there in at the shrine, because and the administration has asked people not to fall prey to any kind of a rumor, because normally when such accidents take place, we have seen that people start exaggerating number, and so that's one of the reasons they are asking people not to fall prey to any kind of rumor. Get in touch with the administration. Administration is trying its level best. One, because it's a very difficult terrain, it's very not easy to get the information from them at this stage. Some of them are missing. So administration is not speculating about the numbers, whatever the bodies, the moment the bodies are recovered, accordingly the numbers what we are getting. So 13 people are said to have lost their lives, several are said to be missing, and more than 8 to 10 people who were injured had already been evacuated to hospital. The helicopters had been placed into service. So it's really very unfortunate scene there. As one can see, there's a lot of panic among the people there also. But the one good thing is that the rainfall had stopped, because had it continued to rain, then the rescue operation would have become more difficult, because after rainfall, then the things will be not easy, because then it causes slush, the ground becomes slippery, and then the rescue operation would have been difficult. But as yes, there are challenges like darkness right now, so efforts are on to evacuate as many people as they can, make them reach towards the safer places, try to look for those people who are missing. And the tragedy that has struck is definitely, in fact, that's one of the reasons the whole country right now is praying for the well-being of the people who are stuck up and stranded in that area, because all eyes are glued towards the Amarnath cave shrine, where from this incident has been reported, the tragic has been reported. Everybody wants that the figure should not rise, because when we started reporting initially, they said that some people were injured. Soon after that, it was the 2 bodies were recovered, and since then, and with a heavy heart, I have to tell the viewers that yes, some more bodies have been recovered, because and now people really want there. Everybody is praying, whosoever is here, whether it's a base camp Jammu, whether it's a base camp in Pahalgam or Baltal, they want that the figure should not be higher. But yes, some people are missing, whether they had moved towards the safer place. That's what actually the administration is trying to verify, so they do not want to speculate on the number. But yes, a rescue operation is going on. All praise for the people there on the ground who are risking their lives, trying to ensure to save lives of the pilgrims and the devotees who had come here with so many prayers on their lips, and so many things they wanted, because they wanted the prayers to be answered. Nobody had thought that such a tragedy is going to strike them or hit them this time. But yes, the administration had made all sorts of arrangements. All eyes are there at the base camp. to ensure that the best of the help is provided to them and all necessary arrangements are made for the pilgrims and devotees so that they do not face any kind of problem. And also, helpline numbers will be out soon so that they can be informed where the people can get in touch with the
Pradeep.
authorities.
In fact, we have started to flash those helpline numbers on our screens for our viewers so that they can actually go ahead and connect with the near and dear ones if at all they are, in fact, traveling to the Amarnath Yatra this year. Those are numbers on your screen that we are flashing. NDRF numbers. Also, we have numbers from the Kashmir Divisional Helpline that we also will be flashing on the screen for our viewers, and also the Shrine Board Helpline. All of this is being put out there on your screen so that you can actually get in touch with the relevant authorities to actually take stock of the situation. These are helpline numbers. There are also toll-free numbers that have been established for the pilgrims who are embarking on the Amarnath Yatra. Those toll-free numbers are also out for Jammu and Srinagar. That is also something that we will be putting out very, very soon. So that has happened. We are also being told that the Indian Army has launched 6 rescue teams, including Army helicopters, for the aid of Yatris in the Cloudburst affected area at the lower Amarnath cave site. This has come out by the Northern Army Command. This is the word and the official statement by the Northern Army Command, where 6 rescue teams are currently looking at people who might just be stuck in the lower Amarnath cave site. And Army helicopters have also been pressed into service to actually go ahead and aid in the relief and rescue operations. Remember, it's post-sundown. It's around 9:15 right now. The relief and rescue operations are still continuing because there are many who are feared to be trapped and they're missing. 13 people unfortunately have lost their life because of the cloudburst that is being reported from the upper reaches of the Amarnath shrine. Right ahead, right very next to the shrine, the cave area is where the cloudburst really happened. And after that, there were several tents, more than 25 in number, who were washed away, like my colleague Pradeep was bringing to you in that report of his. He also mentions 13 casualty. Unfortunately, the figures are only growing when it comes to the casualty figures. We still do not have a number that is coming in from the official sources. However, 13 is what is being reported right now, who are feared to be dead. Several others are still missing. And remember, like I was telling you, Indian Army has launched 6 rescue teams, and this includes Army helicopters which have been pressed into service to actually take care of the relief and rescue works. In fact, you can see those numbers, those helpline numbers from Jammu and Srinagar. These numbers are for the pilgrims who are embarking on the Amarnath Yatra. Those are also being put out for you and your aid on your screens there. These are toll-free numbers for both Srinagar and Jammu. We will continue to actually get our reporters on this story and get you all the latest updates. These are visuals that we had during the day when the cloudburst really happened at around 5:30 in the evening. And of course, after sundown, also the relief and rescue operations are continuing. We'll try and pull those night shots also for our viewers. But there you see on the screens the impact of that massive cloudburst, and you can see the water really gushing down. And this is what impacted several of the tents in the lower reaches of the Amarnath site area. You can see those tents, several of them impacted, 25 of them washed away because of the cloudburst, and later the water really gushing down from the upper reaches to the lower site area. That's how several people are currently feared to be missing. 13 so far who are feared to have died. We are trying to ascertain more details on these figures, and also constantly flashing these helpline numbers on the screens for you so that you can get in touch with the respective authorities. And we're getting you some breaking news which is pertaining to Shinzo Abe assassination after the national mourning that has been announced in India tomorrow. Now the Uttar Pradesh government in the country has also announced a state mourning tomorrow. This is the latest after a national mourning of 1 day that has been announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now the UP government has gone ahead and announced a state mourning after Shinzo Abe's death. And going back to more reports that are coming out of the Amarnath site where the cloudburst hit near the base camp of the holy cave shrine of Amarnath. Now, this, of course, has resulted in the loss of many lives. We are reporting 13 casualties so far. Rescue operations are continuing even after sundown. The ITBP, Jammu and Kashmir Police and Indian Army are continuing with the rescue operations which are going on in full swing. We will actually get you all the developments that we are trying to actually ascertain and bring to you from the very spot where the relief and rescue operations are continuing. The latest is that we've been told that 10 teams of the army and also the Indian Army, in fact, and army dog teams also continue with the rescue operations. That's the latest that we are bringing for our viewers. But before we actually get down to more from what is really happening at the spot, let's actually go ahead and take a look at what happened when the cloudburst really took place, when the cloudburst hit from the upper reaches, when the impact went down. What were the visuals really saying? To actually explain that to us, my colleague Madhav has compiled this particular report for you. Just take a look at that first. We'll try and get you that report in just a bit. But for now, we're also flashing those helpline numbers for you so that you can actually take a look and try and get a sense of what is really happening. If at all you need to get a word from on ground, if at all there are kins of yours who are traveling to the Amarnath shrine or who are part of the Amarnath Yatra, these numbers will probably be very, very helpful that we are trying to actually bring for you. I'm told that we are, just about putting that report out for you. But the latest that we are trying to pick from the information that our reporters, our colleagues are really filing for you is that the relief and rescue operations are still really continuing. In fact, the cloudburst incident at the holy cave really resulted in the loss of several lives. Several people are feared to be still probably missing and trapped. In fact, security forces and all the NDRF and army teams have been pressed into service. There are teams of helicopters that have been pressed into service, and as per the latest report, we've been told that 10 dead bodies have been recovered so far, and 40 yatris are believed to be still missing as the rescue work continues. To actually get us a sense of what really is happening, my colleague Sahil is joining us on the broadcast to bring us up to speed with all the latest that is happening at the Amarnath Yatra. Yes, Sahil, can you tell us about what really is happening on ground? What is it that you're picking up about the casualty figures? We're told 10 right now that have been confirmed. That is the official figure. My colleague Pradeep was just talking about 13 bodies. However, do you have on the numbers on what numbers are really coming out from the authorities that they are probably talking about?
Well, the officials say the number of casualties so far in this cloudburst incident is 10. There are chances of this number going up. The administration, in fact, the officials saying and suggesting that. But officially, the 10 is confirmed so far. 40 and around 35 to 40 are missing. The rescue operation is underway. NDRF, SDRF are jointly working there at the lower cave area in the holy cave area. In fact, and no army, in fact, has also pressed into 10 teams, these rescue teams. Helicopters have been, in fact, pressed in. CRPF and ITBP is also there. Jammu Kashmir Police, in fact, leading from the front. And the first priority there is certainly for the administration and for the rescue teams is to ensure that those injured reach to the Baltal base camp, because DRDO facility is there at the Baltal base camp. In fact, there was a primary health center that was established at the lower cave area, but that is functional at the moment, but the holding capacity of that primary health center is not much. So the authorities really trying to shift those injured to the Baltal base camp. So now for that, helicopters have been, in fact, pressed in. At the same time, there is a rescue operation that's going on for tracing out those missing yatris. In fact, this cloudburst took place around 5:30 p.m. In the evening. There was a rainfall. After that, there was this cloudburst, and it triggered floods in the area that affected around 20 to 25 tents that were pitched near the holy cave. In fact, 2 langars have been also washed out by these flash floods. So now, at the moment, rescue operation is on, and authorities are working together to ensure that the number of casualties is minimized and all those injured are shifted to Baltal base camp as early as possible.
All right. Thank you so much, Sahil. In fact, we've just gotten a word. These are figures that we have got from the administration, and we've been told that a total number of casualties have actually gone up to 13. So Pradeep was right in the reportage where he put out that figure for us. The 13 people have unfortunately lost their lives so far. 5 people, thankfully, have been rescued. More people are being looked at, being searched by the relief and rescue work that's continuing. All the army teams and Air Force teams have been pressed into service. In fact, helicopters have also been pressed into service to actually look for the people who are still missing. Remember, this is post-sundown. The rescue operation will have the impact because there is no daylight support for them. They are going on. We also have my colleague Sahil, in fact Ishan, who is in fact traveling to the place where the cloudburst really occurred. We'll try and connect with him if that is possible, and he'd be able to get us the exact picture from on ground. So we will take you to that on what really is happening at the moment when it comes to the rescue operations that are still continuing. However, I was talking about that report that my colleague Madhav filed for you. Let's quickly take a look at what exactly happened when that cloudburst took place and the impact thereafter. That's my report. That's my that's been filed by my colleague Madhav. Let's take a look at that.
These pictures are absolutely shocking because this is the entire area. This area here is where the camp is. This is where the langars take place, and right above it you can see this huge amount of water gushing down. If I can just pause this video to show it to our viewers. Look, this is the area where the water is gushing down. All of these are langars where temporary structures are put up every year to ensure the Amarnath Yatra takes place. Now this is where in fact the security staff, those in fact who are the staff in that area from the point of view of the local administration, as well as security forces and also the langars, because remember these langars or these community kitchens are the lifeline of the Amarnath Yatra. The tens of thousands of devotees who actually come for the Yatra throughout the journey. After one point of time there are no restaurants or any other source of food, but only from these voluntary community kitchens, where in fact there is food that is given to all of the devotees who come there in huge numbers. And that's the area through which they actually pass before they go over here to the shrine. This is the shrine. You can see the railings here, and this is a walkway where there are steps where one actually goes into the shrine. Right next to that, if I can now unpause these visuals, play them out, right next to that is where you see this water completely gushing down. And as you said, about a little over a dozen and a half of these camps which have actually been washed away in the massive flow of that river. See over here, look at the crowd over there. If I can just quickly show you that crowd as well, just quickly pan that back. Just look at the number of people who've actually come out. And these aren't just pilgrims, these aren't just devotees, these are people who are presumably inside these camps who've come out given the fact that there has been this sudden downpour of water, the sudden gushing of water, and with that flash flood and with several of those camps being flown away, these are probably people who are fearing for the worst and therefore came outside. Luckily, we are told now by the administration that the situation by and large is is under control. But given the kind of damage that we are looking at from these pictures, there's no saying what the final, kind of numbers that we could be looking at would be. We're told that 5 persons are died, about 18 persons are injured at this point of time, and many of them have been given or accommodation in other camps. A little further downhill from here, there is several other camps of several of our paramilitary forces, and presumably they would have been taken there. Several of these camps also have medical facilities, but I would assume it is largely first aid and some basic medical facilities. What about those who have been grievously injured? Would there be enough medical facilities provided there? Because once it's nightfall, and if there is rain, which would have in the first place caused this kind of a flash flood, would in fact chopper operations be possible at all? These are going to be some of the very, very difficult logistical challenges for the administration at this point of time. Certainly hopes and prays that all of those pilgrims as well as security agencies that are present there, they're certainly doing fine at this point of time, and they're all in safety.
That was the report filed by my colleague Madhav just about the time when the cloudburst occurred. After that, the impact really that had led to 25 and more in number of those tents being washed away because that water really gushed down. So that was to get you to understand what has really happened. Now, let me go to my colleague Ishan, who's on the way to the place where the cloudburst has really occurred, right next to that shrine. Ishan will be able to give us a sense of what really is happening when it comes to the rescue operations that are still continuing. Ishan, would you know about, we are told that the casualty figures have gone up to 13. 5 people thankfully have been rescued. What is it that's happening on the ground right now? How long can the rescue operation possibly continue, given the logistical support that is needed for the security forces to go ahead with such a kind of rescue operation?
Well, first, let me here point out that the government had already kept high arrangements for such kind of eventuality because there are possibilities of flash floods taking place and also cloudbursts happening, because this is a place which is very sensitive when it comes to ecology. And then, being that location, which is covered with a Himalayan mountain range, it's, the cave opening where the cave is located is surrounded by mountains from all sides. That's why SDRF, NDRF and additional teams were deployed to ensure that if such thing happens, they are able to respond quickly. Though the government says that these teams were deployed within no time, but yes, definitely this flash, cloudburst has caused this damage. Now, remember, there have been flash floods happening in that particular axis, particularly towards the Kargil side. We have seen multiple cloudbursts happening and flash floods taking place, which resulted in damage to property. Thankfully, no life was lost earlier, but it has happened in the past on the Amarnath Yatra route, and back then also several lives were lost. This year, 13 people have been killed so far. Multiple people are missing. Do not panic because operations are underway. Helicopters have also been roped in. Multiple agencies are working on the ground to ensure that first they are brought to the nearby hospital, and from there, if there's a need to rescue and take them from the helicopter, they could be taken from there to medical help.
Ishan is still traveling to the spot. We will try and actually re-establish that link with Ishan so that he is able to bring to us clearly what is really happening, and we'd also allow him to actually reach the very spot so that he's able to, for sure, give us the visuals from the spot about the relief and rescue operations that are currently continuing. These are also visuals from post-sundown when the relief and rescue work was continuing. Thankfully, 5 people have been rescued after the cloudburst really hit very close to the cave site of the Amarnath Yatra. We will try and get you more visuals and also establish and re-establish that link with Ishan, who is bringing to us all the latest when it comes to the relief and rescue operations that continue, even as the army and the NDRF forces are pressed into service, with 10 army teams being deployed and also helicopters being pressed into service to look for people who are reportedly still missing because of the flash floods that followed the cloudburst that hit that shrine very close to the Amarnath cave. Welcome back. You're watching Nation Tonight with me, Griha Atul. Now, the Enforcement Directorate has issued a show cause notice to Amnesty India International Private Limited and its ex-CEO, Akar Patel, for violations of provisions of FEMA and imposed a penalty to the tune of 51.72 crore and 10 crore respectively. The Central Probe Agency had initiated a probe under FEMA on basis of allegations that Amnesty International UK had been remitting massive foreign contribution through its Indian entities through foreign direct investment to evade Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. My colleague Bhavtosh now joins on the broadcast. Bhavtosh, important development that is coming in, and this is trouble there for Amnesty India and also its ex-CEO Akar Patel. Now, why Akar's name is coming to light every now and then? Is it to do with the time that he was, part of Amnesty India? Because we are still talking about his tenure, which is 2015 to 2019, I believe.
Yes, Griha, it was during this time that Central Bureau of Investigation as well as the Enforcement Directorate started probing this case. The Enforcement Directorate, while issuing its statement, clearly mentioned that the period that has been investigated is between 2013 and 2018. And they have said that Amnesty International knew that they were violating sections of FCRA, and that's why through FDI route they had brought in the money and gave this money to Amnesty India International. And they have said that because of the contraventions of FCRA, they have levied this penalty on Amnesty India International Limited and also on Akar Patel. Now, they have not specified why the penalty has been imposed on Akar Patel. The amount is pretty huge. And they have only said that violation of FEMA has led to imposing this penalty on Amnesty India International Limited, which is around 50.72 crore rupees and also around 10 crore rupees on Akar Patel. They have said that they had carried out their own investigation. Remember, Amnesty India International Limited was accused of violating sections of FCRA. ED has said that because no FCRA license was given to them, Amnesty India then brought in the money through FDI route. Now, they said that Amnesty India then subsequently showed that it is exporting its services, and for that, around 52 crore rupees was brought into the country. ED has said that they had done due diligence and they have carried out its own investigation. And they have said that after that, they have imposed this penalty. Back to you.
All right, Bhavtosh, thank you so much for joining us with all those latest. In fact, we are getting some breaking news for our viewers. Let's first take a look at that. All right, this is pertaining to the U.S. abortion law row. Now, U.S. President Joe Biden has put it out there, and this has come that the court has made it very clear that it will not protect the right of women. This is said by POTUS, the President of the United States of America, and he, in fact, is putting it out there that this is the reason why today is the day that he's signing an executive order to protect access to reproductive health care. Big development from the United States of America, where the President of the United States has signed an executive order. This will help protect access to reproductive health care. And this is something which is followed the big order by the Supreme Court in the country, which prohibits a woman's right to go ahead and go in for an abortion if she requires to do so. And now with the U.S. abortion law in place, this is a big government order, an executive order that has been signed by the President of United States.